This was a very good offseason, free agency and draft for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They went in free agency with a very aggressive approach by bringing in veteran cornerback Patrick Peterson, bringing in a very good guard and Isaac from the Philadelphia Eagles. But they weren't done with that just yet. They went to this draft and they got some good value picks. They ended up getting Broderick Jones and Joey Porter Jr. in the top of the second round. So let's just jump straight into this thing. The Pittsburgh Steelers roster looked extremely better than what it did last year. They went in and got some volume picks, and they went in free agency and made some major moves as well. I like the Patrick Peterson signing. I know a lot of people say that he's older. He's still a good corner. But you're bringing in Joey Porter Jr., a guy that was slated to go in the first round, and you get him in the top of the second round. This is exactly what this team needed in the secondary. They have lacked secondary help for the longest. I'm not talking about the safety position. We know if Minkah Fitzpatrick is the best safety in football, he's a baller. But for the last couple of years, they struggled going out there and trying to get a solidified corner. Now, we still need to see Joey Porter Jr. play, but the story itself seems extremely phenomenal. You drafted his dad a couple of decades ago, and now you're bringing in his son. And Joey Porter Sr. was a beast of a linebacker for this team. Joey Porter Jr. is a very aggressive corner. He's very good at the point of attack. He is a bit slow when we talk about him trying to go up against guys like Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, but his press will save him. Extremely long arms. He has potential to be a #1 corner in the NFL, and he fits the Mike Tomlin system. Mike Tomlin was a defensive back coach. This is the type of talent that he loves on this team. And another reason why he fits with this team so well, that pass rush up front with Alex Highsmith and TJ Watt. He won't have to go out there and cover guys for more of an extended time like other corners may have to in the NFL. He does deal with holding penalties, but you want to go back on that because of how aggressive he is. Let him just lay off sometimes and just back him up a little bit, give him some range to work, and let those arms go out there and do what they can do. I think Joey Porter Jr., pair him up with Levi Wallace and Patrick Peterson, you're looking at a solid secondary with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And you're looking at an elite safety in Minkah Fitzpatrick. You also brought in DeMonte Casey at the strong safety position. Is a good safety as well. They just revamped that safety room, and they also revamped their secondary as a whole. I already talked about the middle linebacker positions in other videos before. They brought in a Landon Roberts, and they got Cole Holcomb. Two solid linebackers that I do like. They're not going to be over the top guys, but Cole Holcomb a couple years ago had over 100+ combined tackles. So that kid can go out there. He can be a tackle machine for you. Excellent run stopper. We know TJ Watt wasn't able to stay healthy last season, but you bring in Nick Herbig, who was a very good rotational piece at the linebacker position. You can bring him in and rotate him with Alex Highsmith, help save some snaps off of TJ Watt and let him get some rest in and let him go back out there and be one of the best pass rushers in the league that he is. So this defense is going through some changes. I like it a lot. They were a top defense last season. I believe they'll be a top defense in this upcoming season as well with the pieces that they've made and bringing back the veteran in Cameron Hayward. Now this offense, you got Broderick Jones in the first round, a stonewall tackle. I always mocked him to this team. I believe that I mocked him to the Patriots in one draft and the Pittsburgh Steelers getting Joey Porter Jr. But you end up getting Broderick Jones and Joey Porter Jr. Excellent. Broderick Jones is a guy that does need some development still. Allowed 0 sacks last season, but is nasty in open field with his blocks. Will get a bit grabby at times, and he will make you scratch your head and say you didn't need the hold there because he's overly aggressive. But he's going to be very good and essential to his offensive line. The biggest problem with the Pittsburgh Steelers, besides play calling from Matt Canada on the offensive end, and hopefully that does get better, was the offensive line issues. The offensive line has not been the same since Mike Munchak left and went to the Denver Broncos. They need to try to bring him back, but they revamped this offensive line of the last couple of years. You bring in Isaac from the Philadelphia Eagles, one of the best running mauling guards in the NFL. You got James Daniels in last year free agency. Is a good guard. You bring in Mason Cole, a decent center for you to have at that position. All of this interior of the offensive line is better than what it was a couple years ago. We had Kendrick Green because he could not play football at the next level at all. And you're bringing in Broderick Jones, so Dan Moore Jr. no longer has to be that franchise tackle that you were hoping that he was going to be. Dan Moore is more of a guard. You can slide him in at left guard position and right guard position to be a rotational piece just in case guys go down. In the right tackle position, you still have Big Chucks. Big Chucks is not amazing, but he got better as the season went on. You hope that he can continue to get better. This offensive line needs to improve up front, and I believe the Pittsburgh Steelers have done everything right to make it a major priority to improve it. Because Najee Harris the last couple seasons back to back has rushed for over 1,000, but it's been extremely hard due to play calling and inconsistency of the blocking due to the offensive line. So hopefully they can get that situated. If that is the case, expect for another major season from Najee Harris. Not just from catching the ball at the backfield, but also rushing as well. And you also have that 1-2 punch with him and Jaylen Warren. All this comes down to, can Kenny Pickett develop? You got to give him a cleaner pocket. He showed back half of the season that there's some talent there, that he can be a good quarterback for you moving forward. The Pittsburgh Steelers are in the race in this division. Is really going to be tough because you have the Cincinnati Bengals revamping their team. You have the Baltimore Ravens revamping as well, and then you have the Cleveland Browns. So you will see. So the Pittsburgh Steelers are in that division riding deep. They have the veteranship on the defensive side. It just comes down, can this offense wake up? You have Deontay Johnson, didn't have the best season last season, had 0 touchdowns receiving, but he's still a good wide receiver to have. I believe George Pickens will be the #1 wide receiver for this team long term. I love Pat Freiermuth at the tight end position. And speaking of the tight end position, you also got Darnell Washington in this draft as well. A guy that's an amazing blocker and can make major moves with the run after catch, similar to Pat Freiermuth. The only thing that bothers me about Darnell Washington, I see a lot of people being happy about it. Those knees were a concern. That's why he slid so far in the draft. If his knees are better than what the medical report says, that's an excellent pick. He doesn't even have to give that much receiving production, but he's going to go out there and be a very good run blocker for you and a pass protector as well. That is what he is known for when he was coming out of Georgia. That kid is huge and can also be a good red zone target as well. I love that pickup. He's 6'7", 265 pounds, and you got him in the 3rd round with a 93rd pick. So you're being very physical. Another thing that I want you guys to realize with the Pittsburgh Steelers is this. They want to go back to that old school 90s, 2000s type of football. Run the football, control the clock, stop the run. You're going to have to wake up on those passing concepts, Coach Tomlin. You just can't run the football the entire game 25 to 30 times, think they'll get you over the hump. It'll help out your young quarterback, Kenny Pickett, but let him air out those teams and let him go out there and defeat these teams. Because you're going against a team like the Kansas City Chiefs or even the Baltimore Ravens, you may not have that much rushing success. I know they did against the Ravens last year, but against a healthy Ravens team, they can give you some problems. But they've matched up very well with the Ravens. But when we talk about these top elite teams that the Pittsburgh Steelers struggled with last season, such as the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs as well in years previous, it came down to the secondary being a problem and them not being able to run the football. If they could fix those two things, the Pittsburgh Steelers could be a very good team to watch out for in the AFC. I'm not saying they're a Super Bowl contender, but just be a watch out on this team to be a team that's going to be hard to beat. So let me know how you feel about this Pittsburgh Steelers offseason as a whole. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, want each and every last one, guys, stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace.